If you're an empath that feels drained so often and you don't know why and you also don't know what to do about it, then watch this video and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. Hi guys, my name is Ieva Bereisaite and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk a lot about how the mind works, about subconscious patterns, how to overcome negative thinking, lots on manifestation and mindset, of course. And if you're into this type of personal development, then subscribe to my YouTube channel below. So today's topic is super special for me because I myself am an empath and I want to share what I've learned along the way. And I think these tips and this whole video is really going to put a lot of things into perspective for empaths. So, an empath is someone who is a highly sensitive person that can sense other people's feelings. And I made a list of characteristics that an empath has. So if any of these characteristics line up with you and you say like, oh, I'm totally like this or I'm totally like that of what I'm going to read out to you, then it definitely means that you are an empath. And if you have two or more of these characteristics, well, then this video is really going to help you. So, the first characteristic that an empath has is you have a really good intuition, right? You can really tap into your intuition and you feel when your intuition is communicating with you. You have empathy for other people and for animals as well. Closeness or intimacy can feel very overwhelming for you and can cause you to feel drained. You are very stimulated in cities or in crowded places. So normally people who are empaths, they will like to be out in nature more and will feel drained or just kind of like overwhelmed in cities or in like crowded areas. They're not gonna like those places. People come to you for comfort. They feel like you really understand them, right? And another characteristical trait is it's hard for you to stop caring when someone has a problem, right? So you are really involved in helping people and helping them cope with their problems. And if any of these things really resonated with you, it definitely means that you're an empath. So I'll tell you a scenario that really makes an empath become an empath. So let me clarify this. An empath is a person who, as I mentioned in the beginning, is a highly sensitive person and can sense other people's feelings, right? This comes about because of the way that they had to develop as a child or in their adolescence stage, okay? So, for example, if you had a narcissistic parent or a family member and they lived with you on an early stage, and if you know that they had really narcissistic traits, this is a huge reason why a lot of people become empaths. And I will clarify right now what a narcissist is. So, a narcissist is someone that always says, like, me. It's all about me. And at the end of the day, no matter what you do, it is about them. They are the most important in your life. And all of your decisions have to be made around them. They're supposed to be the center of attention, right? And a narcissistic person and a person who has extreme narcissistic characteristics, they're very toxic and they're very, very draining. A narcissistic person, if you've lived with one, will probably restrict you of a lot of things, okay, in your childhood. They might get jealous if you go out with your friends, or they might not even let you see your friends. They would only want you to spend time with them, right? Your emotions would not be important to them. So it's kind of like living with a selfish bully, right? That's how I like to describe it. They don't give you freedom. They would put you down, very often raise their voice, and just be like a really toxic, bad bully. Children don't feel safe when they have a narcissistic parent. And before going into the room where that parent would be, the child would literally sense the energy in the room. The child would sense if the parent that is narcissistic, for example, is in a good mood or is in a bad mood. They would sense that. And then they would decide if they would want to ask the parent whatever it is that they wanted to ask, or if they would just leave it. So they sense other people's feelings. And this is a shield mechanism that empaths or children have developed when they live with a narcissistic parent. You would basically develop a survival mechanism, okay? Because, for example, if you had a narcissistic mom and she was in a bad mood, and you would not sense that she's in a bad mood, and you would ask her something like, Mom, could I go out with my friends? And she would be like, what friends? Where? Why? Am I not enough? Are you bored of me? Do you not want to spend time with me? Those friends are not good for you. You know, all of these things. And so to avoid that unpleasant conversation, a child would go into the room, for example, and see how that parent is feeling before they actually ask that question, right? And if they would sense that they're not in a good mood, you wouldn't even ask, because you don't want that toxic situation to even happen. So that's how being an empath really shows itself, and that's how it grows. So that is like a very common way of how a person becomes an empath. And the superpower of being an empath is really feeling how others feel. If you walk into a room, you'll feel the vibe of the room. You'll even feel like how certain people are feeling, or if they're in a good or bad mood. You'll even feel sometimes how animals are feeling. Okay, there are different types of empaths, but we're going to concentrate on the empaths towards people today, right? So it's important for an empath to have their safe space, okay? Because what will happen is if you talk to someone who has a problem and you're an empath and that person is talking to you, and they'll name the problem. And as I said, they'll come to you for comfort because you will listen. What empaths do is they naturally take up that problem to be their own, okay? And they might actually think that it's their own problem. And they will start looking for solutions. And what automatically happens is they take up that negative energy and they drain themselves with that negative energy. So it's really important for empaths to have their own space and to have their own container, right? And I'm going to tell you how you can do that. So as I said in the beginning, narcissists are all about me, 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 and empaths are all about you, 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 you. And when empaths are all about, well, I hope this person is okay, and I hope this person is okay, and I hope this person is okay, they're automatically thinking about different people, because as a child, as an adolescent, they didn't have the opportunity to think about themselves because they had to think of their parent, who was all about me, me, me. So they naturally became people pleasers, and they found it very hard to say no. And people who find it really hard to say no, in their, you know, older ages or like mature adult ages, so to say, if they find it hard to say no, it's because they're a people pleaser. And then you have to ask yourself, well, am I an empath? And if I'm an empath, why was I an empath? And look back onto your childhood to see that. And there is this pattern that can really be identified. So empaths are people pleasers because they don't want to make other people disappointed. They want to make other people happy. They they longed for love and trust so much from their parents or that narcissistic family member, so much that they forgot about their own needs. Okay? And this is an issue. This is a big deal. And a lot of people don't deal through this, right? And it's really important to work through these types of things and to kind of see, well, what kind of person am I? What kind of characteristics do I have? And what kind of things are in my way? And if you sense like, okay, saying no to someone is really hard for me, well, then asking yourself, am I a people pleaser? And so many people are. And then looking into that and discovering more about yourself and wounds that you have to heal, because everyone has wounds to heal. Guys, if you like this video so far, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and give me a thumbs up. And also click the bell button to be notified whenever I upload a video. I would love for you to be part of my YouTube community. You have to be kind to yourself, because we as empaths just give, and people use. That's the thing, people use. They'll take what they need and they'll go. And what will happen is our cup will become emptier and emptier. And so we have to fill that back up, right? But understanding this person has their lives, their morals, their values, they're grown, they've made the decisions that they've made, and I have my own path, I have my own life, I have my own energy. Show compassion, but empathy has to be, we have to be careful, especially as empaths. We can really quickly drain ourselves because we might start thinking, those are our problems, and what if this happened to me? And what if I end up being this way? And I've been there. It's a really hard journey to get out of, and it's very toxic and bad to always think that we have to suffer just like everyone else does, especially close people. And that's also a trait that empaths have. So we really have to notice this and work against it, right? Come back to yourself and understand that this is you. This is your life. You have your own life. And that's them and their energy and their life. And if they're portraying it onto you, you don't have to take it in. You don't have to reply to them. You don't have to find a solution. You can just listen. And if you don't want to listen, you can set a boundary and say something like, I'll talk to you later about this. If you find it like it's too much for you. And if they get upset about that, then it's their problem. Like, be kind, but you do not have to drain yourself, for sure. So one thing that you can do to, again, as I said, like, empaths are people, they're absolutely wonderful people that want to help everyone and just want to do good and be good and, you know, but it can get very overwhelming. And so that is why it's really important to give yourself time to deal with the emotions that you as an empath have. Give yourself that container, give yourself that safe feeling. And you can do that by having a routine of like meditating during the day, or just doing something that brings you down, grounds you, right? Because again, empaths will overthink a lot of situations because that's also a safety mechanism, right? We have to do something to wind us down into the present moment. The present moment is what's really going to help us and ground us as empaths, right? So that a great thing to do is really to meditate. That's what I personally do. That's what really helps me. But you can also journal. You can also do gardening. You can work out. Find something that brings you into the present moment that will literally get rid of so much negativity that's going on in your life and will bring you back into your container and your safe place. Again, if you had someone narcissistic in your life and you're just really realizing that now, through having a parent who is narcissistic, for example, there are a lot of limiting beliefs that build up over the years of living with them or spending time with them. And because of those beliefs that have built up, we automatically start attracting similar people to the narcissist into our lives. So if you have a narcissistic mom or dad or sibling, and you stop living with them, you move on, but you never heal through your wounds, it's very likely that you might attract a narcissistic partner or a narcissistic coworker or a narcissistic boss or something like that, because you attract what you believe about yourself. And if your self-worth was so shattered as a child or as a teenager from that narcissist and you didn't work through it, chances are you're going to be attracting a similar person into your life. That's why it's so important to work through limiting beliefs. That's why it's so important to have a way of dealing with it, talking about it, making those realizations. And if you're interested in that, and if you really feel what I'm saying, then look in the description section below and reach out to me. If you're having a lot of light bulb moments and a lot of realizations throughout this video, I would love to know in the comment section below. Definitely tell me how you like this video and what realizations you're having. So as I mentioned, this is something that can feel a little bit overwhelming sometimes, for sure, and so it's important to be as self-aware as possible. And if you do have realizations, I think it's really helpful to write those realizations down on a piece of paper, especially when it's about these types of topics, because those realizations are coming from your intuition. And when you're an empath, you're a very intuitive person. Maybe you don't know it yet, but you are. And if you're having those realizations, it's a voice that's telling you this. And if I were you, I would really be listening to that voice and writing down all of these light bulb moments that you would be having. Because then you can take the next step in healing your wound or learning more about yourself, which is only going to be benefiting you in the long term, okay? So again, to sum up what you can do, if you feel like there's so much drama going on around me, so many people with so much negative energy, they're all coming to me, and they feel comfort with me because I'm such a good listener. Again, empaths are such good listeners. You take those problems on as your own, and it can be very draining and very overwhelming. So meditating, grounding yourself, doing a practice, being in the now, okay? Learning about how to be in the now is what's really going to help you. And I have a great video about the now, and I'm gonna link it above as well. So definitely check that out. Connect with yourself. If you have something that's upsetting you, journal it out. Have a gratitude practice in the morning. Listen to affirmations that are gonna help you stay in the now. find a way to connect with yourself. And for everyone, it's going to be a little bit different. As I said, some people like to do yoga and they connect with themselves. Some people like to work out. Some people like to go for walks alone in nature, which is a great way to connect with yourself as well. As I said, meditation for others like myself, or anything similar like that, or the Wim Hof breathing method is also awesome. Definitely check that out as well. Find something that helps you connect to yourself, and you're gonna see yourself have so much more energy and your cup is gonna start being full again. So yeah guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video so far. Also check me out on my Instagram. My Instagram is yourmindisheaven. Yeah, check me out on there. I have a lot of really cool content to share. Also check out my Facebook group, the Heaven on Earth community. It's a small but growing community. I do lives in there really frequently about these types of topics and more. Come and join the community. I'm sure you will absolutely love it. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching with me, then check everything out in the description section below. I'm sure you'll find exactly what you're looking for. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you an awesome week, and I cannot wait to see you next time, next week on Sunday. Until then, bye.